Order. The result of the division is ayes 72, noes 72. And yeah, it's not that perplexing, but I didn't think I'd have another casting vote. But as with amendments under the principles that members would accept, I need to leave motions in their current form, so I cast my vote with the ayes. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll hear from the Manager of Opposition Business. I'm happy to.
So, Speaker, just seeking you to clarify, and I'm basing it on previous public statements you've made about how you would use the casting vote, where the public statements that you've made about how you'd use the casting vote said that, for example, in a second reading motion you would always cast with the ayes because the principle is to allow for further debate. But when, for a third reading, for example, or for a motion, you would not use the casting vote to make a decision, a final decision that the House had not otherwise made. On this occasion, we have a decision of the House as to whether or not we have concurrence with the Senate. We don't have a procedural motion, we have a formal decision of the House. And I put it to you, Mr Speaker, in terms of what you have previously said on how you use your casting vote, that this is not a moment where it allows further debate. It is not the ordinary procedural motion that you might otherwise refer to. It is, in fact, a decision of the House, and it would be a different use of, from precedent, and a different use of the casting vote, certainly to what you had said publicly you would use it, if the casting vote becomes the reason that the House forms a view on a policy issue.
I'll hear from the Leader of the House, and just before I do, obviously sometimes the principles somewhat conflict, and I was obviously giving it consideration. On this occasion, my understanding is that the Minister had moved that the Senate message not be agreed to, and we've dealt with the amendment. And I'll hear from the Leader of the House. I think the Manager of Opposition Businesses.
Mr Speaker, on the points that have been made by the Manager of Opposition Business and by yourself, the position you've previously taken publicly and in this building has been that you wouldn't use your casting vote on precedent to change anything. And the difficulty with using your casting vote to vote no on this occasion would be that we would actually change something because the message from the Senate would then become a government decision or policy of this House of Representatives, and you'd be using your casting vote to make an action occur, and you've said previously that you wouldn't do so, that you would leave things as they are. And the only way to leave things as they are is to cast your vote with the ayes, because otherwise you would be accepting a message from the Senate which would be an action, a changing motion. And therefore I agree with your decision to vote with the ayes and to use your casting vote with the ayes.
Yeah, no, and no, I think with the Manager of Opposition Business, I'm reconsidering based on, the propositions. There's obviously 3 propositions. I don't think we need to go through them all. But the final question was that the message from the Senate not be agreed to. And, there's there's a number of propositions there. One is to allow debate to continue. That's true, but I think, having reflected on it and having listened to the Manager of Opposition Business, I do think that on reflection I should cast my vote with the noes, because I shouldn't vote to create a majority on an issue when a majority doesn't exist. So where that leaves us, and I will cast my vote that way, having reflected on it, where that leaves us is the Minister's motion has not been agreed to, and I'll cast my vote with the noes, and I think that is consistent with what I've done in the past, although I have the forbearance of members, given the nature of the motion and the amendment, that my initial reaction was that was to cast it with the yes, but I think that is right. I think I should cast it with the noes, and at this sort of late hour, I don't want to be being inconsistent. I really don't. So that's my position.